see that car? Is
Yeah.
it working? 2 hours of shoots. can't hear me. Two strikes. Can you hear me? Small technical problem, people, with the microphone. We had 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jordan Lambert. Foul ball. Foul ball down right field line. Picked up. That's the first one out for South Australia. Lead off batter, field 4-3. Vicky McFarlane up to bat. Goes for the bunt. Misses. Strike 1. Ball on the inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Goes for the ball on the outside, fouls it up first base line. One ball, 2 strikes. Strike 3. Number 2 batter out for South Australia. Up to bat now for South Australia, Maddie Cameron. One ball on the batter. Perfect pitch. Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 out, South Australia. As for the outside, infield pop-up catch by first base. Jody Stevenson retires the side at the top of the first innings. Afternoon, softball fan. Can you hear me? No. Not working.
What happened?
Okay, Melissa, you hear me now? Wow, bit of a slight technical problem with the speakers, people, but welcome, softball fans. Two strikes on lead-off batter, Leah Parry, WA. On the outside, she leaves it alone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nice little slap up to second base. Just beats the throw and a small error by first base. Bit of speed there by Mr. Parry. Next up to bat, Gemma Freegard. With 1 runner on. Beautiful sacrifice bunt, pushes her run around to second base. 1 out for WA. Lee Godfrey now into bat. Bit of air on that pitch outside, she leaves it alone. One ball. Inside, showed the edge of that base. The first pitch strike. on the outside for ball number 2. Follow up repeat pitch, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. One on the outside, and he picks up a walk. Runners on first and second, none out. 1 out for WA and batter Verity Longdroppet. Leaves that one alone, it's on the inside. Shade the edge on the outside for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Beautiful reaction line drive catch by third base. Make second out for WA. Runners still left on first and second. Next batter up, taking the first strike, the DP, Alana Alvarado. Small chat by the battery, sort things out. Another strike on the outside of the plate. Called 2 strikes. And catcher called for it again, but was a bit too far outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Left that one alone with a lot of confidence. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And after that one, a powerful hit, foul ball down the right field line. Gently touched on the left elbow as she gets a hit pitch ball and wanders up to first base. Now Western Australia have loaded bases, 2 out with Tiki Calendar up to bat. Like Coach Parkland's taking care of that injury up there at first base. And Coach Jones giving instructions to the batter. Just WA making a change. He's taking Alana Alvarado out and replacing her with Mackenzie Giles Martin as the pinch runner. Still in the bottom of the first innings, WA with loaded bases and 2 out. First one called strike on the outside of the plate. Pitcher going that way again, but this time a bit too far outside the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brings it back inside again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Goes after this one, strikes out. Bases left loaded. WA managed to put them on but didn't bring them in. After the first completed innings, scores are 0-all. So welcome softball fans to Mirrabooka's International Softball Stadium. We had a bit of technical before, missed the first innings because of the microphone not working. Now going into the top of the second innings for South Australia. Up to bat, Sophie Hoyle. Batting order for South Australia. Jordan Lambert playing at second, Vicky McFarlane left field, Maddie Cameron centre field, Sophie Hoyle designated player, Belinda White catcher, Lana Kaysler third base, Olivia McGinley shortstop, Amber Hood right field, Chelsea Robinson first base, Miho Kurita pitching. Reserves, Jaylan Ford. Oops, I won't go with the reserves, we'll go back to the batter. First pitch on the outside, ball. Goes after this one, swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Going after these pitches, fortunately just gets past her on that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitcher's just teasing the batter, throws it on the outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Comes back on the inside high. Batter now has a full book. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Sophie Hoyle. Disciplined batting there. Sees the 4th ball over, takes herself a walk up to first base. It's 1 back, 1 on for South Australia. Up to bat, Belinda White, catcher. Pitcher's trying to entice her, throws it outside, but a little bit too outside for the first ball. Tries the other angle, comes back inside and gets a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Linda lays down a sacrifice bunt, pushes Sophie across to second base. 1 out South Australia, 1 on the top of the second innings. Up to bat for South Australia, Lana Kaysler. Goes after the first one, swing and a miss. Strike 1. Leaves that one alone, is on the inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Goes after that one as well. Drops out of the zone, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitcher comes back inside, levels up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Lana. So coming back on the inside. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 down for South Australia, 1 runner on second base. Goes after that, fouls the ball back through the catcher. Count remains the same, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Goes for a power hit. Beautiful big hit out to left field. Unfortunately for Lana, goes foul. Remains the same. 3 balls, 2 strikes. As after this one, unfortunately, swing and a miss. Becomes the second out for the innings. Runner remaining on 2. 2 down for South Australia. Up to bat, Olivia McGinley. Playing shortstop today. What's the tactics happening here? Pitcher throws one straight down, just on the edge of the outside of the plate for a called strike. Just outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and a miss by the batter. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Olivia. The runner remains at second base. Pitcher trying to entice the batter, but throws it on the outside for ball number 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, runner on 2. Goes after this one, fouls it back through the catcher again, remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitcher throws it on the inside. This gets the front edge of the plate for strike number 3 to retire South Australia in the top of the second innings. No score. You go into the bottom of the second very quickly. I'll give you now the lineup for Western Australia. For those of you who don't know our local people, lead-off batter Leah Parry playing shortstop. Gemma Freegard playing second base. Lee Godfrey is out in the centre field. Verity Long drop it next to her at left field. Alana Alvarado is DP. Tabitha, also known as Tiki Calendar, is playing third base. Jodie Stevenson first base. Madison Schofield right out there at right field. Emily Blowers catching, and the pitcher is Taylor Jordan. Up to bat for WA in the bottom of the second innings. First base, Jodie Stevenson. Jodie goes after the first pitch, but unfortunately grounded out second base to first. Next batter, Madison Schofield, leaves the first one alone. It's not what she wants. She leaves that one alone, but it's a ball, so 1 ball, 1 strike on Madison. Another called strike on Madison. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Confidently leaves that one alone as well. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Moves after the run coming inside at her and hits it straight back to the pitcher for the second out for WA. Pitcher across to first base to make the out. Next batter, Emily Blowers, goes after the first pitch but fouls it down the third base line. Strike 1. Goes again, same spot. 2 strikes on Emily. Goes after this one, swing and a miss, becomes number 3 out for WA without scoring. And going into the top of the third innings, score remains 0-0. Lead-off batter for South Australia in the top of the third innings, Amber Hood, playing right field. First pitch on Amber, called inside, strike 1. Pitcher follows that up with another called strike, straight down the middle, strike 2. Puts a bit of air on the third pitch for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Amber goes after the third one, swing and a miss. First out for South Australia. Next batter, Chelsea Robinson, first base. Ooh, way outside for that one. She leaves it alone. Ball 1. She's a bit too low for Chelsea. Ball 2. Goes after that one, it's right down the middle. This is it, strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Goes after the next pitch, but unfortunately for her, fouls it down over first base. Count now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. She puts it on the other side of the diamond, up the third base line for another foul. Still remains at 2 balls, 2 strikes. After that one, unfortunately, swing and a miss because that's number 2 out for South Australia. Back to the lead-off batter for South Australia. Leaves the first one alone. 1 ball. She goes after that outside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jordan Lambert. 2 down for South Australia in the top of the 3rd innings. Thinks about going for a bunt, but decides the ball's too far outside, leaves it alone. Two balls, 1 strike on Jordan Lambert. Pitcher teases and come back inside. The called strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Look on the outside for a high pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Good vision by this batter. See how she goes. Unfortunately, swing and a miss becomes number 3 out the innings. Leaves no score again, South Australia. Moving into the bottom of the 3rd innings, Western Australia's lead-off batter Lee Harry coming up to hit. See how we can get on base this time. Need these coaches to send them around when they get there. He tries to lay down a bunt. Unfortunately goes foul just outside 3rd base line. Fast enough to get there on those type of bunts. Slaps this one up to shortstop. Unfortunately, throw beats her. First out for WA. Bat, Gemma Freegard. Leaves that one alone, comes right inside on her. Ooh, goes on the outside pitch, beautiful, but unfortunately ends up foul down the left field line. 1 ball, 1 strike on Gemma. Coach Jones giving signals here. Tries to turn it around and go the other side of the diamond. Unfortunately goes foul. Up the first base line. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Gemma. Not ready yet. Beautiful catch by the coach. Unfortunately doesn't mean anything. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This time she switched them all the way to the diamond. This time line drive to second base makes the 2nd out for WA. Places the ball around the place, but unfortunately found a glove on that situation. Another left-handed batter for WA. Lee Godfrey's going to come up and try her luck. Goes after the first pitch, slaps it, comes back to the back net behind the catcher for strike 1. Goes after that one, nice big hit. Unfortunately, foul left, caught by that left field for South Australia to retire the side without a score, without anybody on. Very Excellent running out there by their South Australian left field to pick up that ball. Three completed innings. Score remains at 0-0. WA come back to try their defensive work now. See how Coach Young from South Australia can get his girls around the diamond. Taylor Jordan pitching to Emily Blowers for Western Australia. So far been formidable battery. Batter for South Australia, Vicky McFarlane, the young lady that has took that brilliant foul ball catch out at left field. Pitcher starts off with a nice called strike on the inside of the plate. Strike one. She adds a bit more air to that pitch, a bit too high for Vicky. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch comes back on the inside. Vicky swings, unfortunately no contact. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Leaves that one alone on the outside of the plate. Evens up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Goes after the one on the outside and grounded up along the line, picked up by Jodie Stevenson at first base to make the first out for South Australia. Maddie Cameron, centre field, up to bat. Leaves that one alone, but unfortunately for her, it's a called strike on the inside. Goes after the second one, snapped up by third base for a rocket throw across the diamond to Jodie Stevenson at first. Second out for South Australia. Moved that fast, I hardly saw it. Changes coming up here for Western Australia. Pitcher Taylor Jordan being removed from the game, replaced by Catherine Donovan, number 79. Infielders have a confab, the outfielders have a look. While this pitcher does her warm-up pitches. And the batter for South Australia will be the designated player, Sophie Hoyle. Looks like Catherine's ready to get back in that circle and throw some pitches down. Sophie goes after the first one, rounds the ball out to Gemma Freegard at second base, across to Jodie Stevenson for the third out of the innings. Still no score for South Australia. And moving into the bottom of the fourth innings. And the battery for South Australia, Mahiho Karita and Belinda White, going to do their job and try and reduce West Australia's chances of getting a run. Beautiful throw across the diamond. Lead-off batter for WA in the bottom of the fourth innings, Verity long dropper. Goes after the first pitch, smacks a beautiful hit out to centre field. And the first safe hit of this game puts Verity on first base. Unfortunately, the batter hits first one, shortstop to second base to make out at second base, the first one out, WA. Tiki comes up, hits the first ball, pop-up fly to left field, to right field, sorry. 2 out for WA, leaving the runner Mackenzie Giles Martin remaining at first base. Jodie Stevenson's turn now. That pitch shaved the outside of plate for a called strike on Jodie. She goes after the second pitch but fouls it back over the catcher's head for strike 2. Very quick innings by WA here. Putting the ball into play as much as they can, but it's not working for them at the moment. 2 strikes on the batter. Same again, she goes on the outside and fouls it back behind the battery. Two strikes on the batter, the runner remaining at first. outside pitch to try and entice her again, but she leaves that one alone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Catcher's pulling them outside to entice her again, but again leaves it alone. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Got her that time, but she fouled it out over the catcher's head. Still remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitcher comes back inside this time, but unfortunately Jody leaves it and gets called for a strike to be the 3rd out at the bottom of the 4th innings. Still no score for WA at the completion of 4 innings. Put a runner on, but unfortunately couldn't bring her around. Never too late to do this, even in halfway through the game. But the umpires for today, the plate umpire is Dave Adlam doing the plate, Dylan Murdoch at first base, and Dale Kaimoana at 3rd base. Welcome, gentlemen. We move into the top of the 5th innings. The score remains 0-0. Lead-off batter, their catcher for South Australia, Belinda White. First pitch, called strike. That's when Donovan throws one in on the inside. The swing at a miss. Strike 2. And that one was centimetre perfect, as Dennis would say, for strike 3. The first out for South Australia. Next batter, Lana Koesler, goes after the first pitch, but fouls it down the first base line, picked up by the new player at first base. Goes after the next one, pops up foul fly behind the catcher, strike 2. Goes after that one and snapped up by a very long dropper at left field for the second out for South Australia in the top of the fifth innings. We have a fielding change for WA. Shannon Hearn is now playing first base, taking Jodie Stevenson's place. Batter for South Australia, Olivia McGinley. Leaves the first pitch alone. It's a bit too low for her. That one is also left alone. It's on the outside of the plate. Olivia has now 2 balls. Very disciplined at the moment. 3 balls, too low for her. Top of the fifth innings, 2 out for South Australia. The batter, 3 balls. She leaves that one alone for a called strike. 3 balls, 1 strike. Leaves that one alone for ball 4. Picks herself a walk. Puts herself on base. Gives South Australia a chance to push them around the diamond. Top of the fifth, lead-off batter, Amber Hood. Next batter. Goes after the first pitch but fouls it. Back through the catcher. Strike 1. And goes after the next one. Wants to put this ball into play. Misses that one. Strike 2. 2 down. 2 strikes, runner on first for South Australia. Leaves that one alone. He's got more air on it than me. 1 ball, 2 strikes. She comes back and drops one straight down the middle. Strike 3. Retires the side. Still without score for South Australia. Now moving into the bottom of the fifth innings. Scores remain 0-all. It's going to be a tight one. We'll go all the way down to the end, I feel. Might go like yesterday's game, all the way to the end and change at the bottom of the 7th innings. Let's see if we can reverse that result from yesterday. In the bottom of the 5th innings, lead-off batter for WA, right fielder Madison Schofield. I'm going to put the ball out there today and feel it. Leaves that pitch alone for a ball. Leaves the second one alone. Unfortunately called strikes. He's now got 1 ball, 1 strike. This one comes in on the inside, shaves the inside of the plate and gets called strike again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rounds the ball out second base to first. The first out for WA in this innings. Madison's followed up by the next batter, Emily Blowers, the catcher for WA. Goes to lay down a bunt, doesn't make contact. It's a strike called on her. Doesn't want to chase that one, it's a bit too tall for Emily. 1 ball, 1 strike. Drops the bunt down on the third one. Beats out the play, picked up by catcher. Good sharp work, fast running there by Emily. Puts her on base, gives WA a chance again. Brings back Leah Parry. Doing something here. First pitch picks up the front edge of the plate for a called strike from Leah. Goes after that high slap. Unfortunately, no contact with miss. Still a disciplined batter, this lady. Goes after the outside pitch, fouls it back over the catcher's head. Count remains at 2 strikes with a runner on first for WA in the bottom of the 5th innings. Manages to slap that one, bounces back over the pitcher's head, but unfortunately picked up by second base to tag out the runner going from first to second. Second out for WA, but still we have a runner on first base. Gemma Freegard leaves the first pitch for called strike. Leah Perry steals her way across to second base, puts herself into a scoring position in the bottom of the 5th innings. One ball, 1 strike on Gemma Freegard with a runner in 2. Slaps the first one, but unfortunately picked up sharply by third base to make the third out for Western Australia without a score in the bottom of the 5th innings. Now moving to the top of the sixth innings. Someone might call it the money innings in this game. See if we can do something about it from either side. Lead-off batter for South Australia in this innings, Chelsea Robinson, first base. Chelsea goes after the first one, bounces that out across to second base to first for the first out for South Australia. Next batter, Jordan Lambert, lead-off batter in this game for South Australia. Needs the first pitch alone, it's a bit high for her. Goes up the second one, line drives it out to right field. Right field picks it up. Runner gets a safe hit out. He puts another runner on for South Australia. South Australia making a change. Number 27, Pippa Adkins coming in to bat. Vicky McFarlane. And he's the first one alone, but it's called a strike. Runner goes off across the second, throw's made, but unfortunately for WA, the runner beats the throw. Runner now at 2. One ball, one strike on the batter. The runner stealing to 3. Doesn't make the play. The catcher picks it up, throws it to shortstop to make the second out for WA. Two balls, one strike with 2 down for South Australia. Pippa goes after that one. Low on the outside for her. Strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Leaves that one alone, but unfortunately for Pippa, it's right where she should have gone. Strike 3 for the third out for South Australia in this innings. They threatened with runners on and stealing bases, but unfortunately didn't come up with the goods to get the runs. The score remains at halfway through the 6th innings as 0-all. WA to come back and see what they can do with their turn at bat. like we've had Vicky McFarlane re-enter the game. Back out at left field. Leah Godfrey to come and show us what she can do with this bat. Lead-off batter in the bottom of the 6th innings for WA. Leaves the first pitch alone, but for her it's on the edge of the plate. It's a called strike. Pitcher tries the same spot but drops the ball unfortunately, so it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Goes on the outside, and he goes after it, but brilliant running by the left fielder Vicky McFarlane to take that nice little slap hit away from Lee and make the first out for WA. Very long drop it. Next one up to bat for us. For WA, whoops, sorry. Being partial here. Ball's on the outside, leaves it as a ball. Catcher goes back the same spot, but pitcher puts that little bit edge on it this time and it's a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Verity. Catcher goes back, calls the same thing, the same type of pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Verity. Comes back on the inside this time. Verity goes after it but fouls it up the third base line. Count remains at 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 down. Pitcher puts it down the middle, Verity goes after it, but unfortunately it pops up and caught by the lady out at left field. Right field. I'm getting my left and right mixed up today, not good. Must be sitting on the wrong side of the diamond, I feel. Mackenzie Giles Martin up to bat for WA. Another pitch on the outside left and called as a strike. Goes after this one, fouls it back over the catcher's head. 2 strikes, 2 down, bottom of the 6th innings for Western Australia. They have to be threatening. Another one slap on the outside, but unfortunately up third base line. 2 strikes on Mackenzie. Line drives the ball back to the pitcher for the 3rd out in the bottom of the 6th innings. Score remains at 0-all. Very tight game. Just as a refresher, the pitcher for WA, Catherine Donovan, pitching to Emily Blowers. First base, Shannon Hearn. Second base, Gemma Freegard. Third base, Tiki Calendar. Shortstop, Leah Parry. Left field, Verity Long Dropper. Centre field, Lee Godfrey. And right field, Madison Schofield.
So for our listeners live, unfortunately our screen's just frozen for us, so we're just going to fix that and take a couple of minutes. Just refresh your browser and we'll be back with you in a moment. Thank you.